Hello, my name is Chantal and I'm a member at Andover Baptist Church. It's so good to be able to share with you this week in our theme of walking on water. The Bible reading is taken from Matthew 14 verses 22 to 33. Jesus walks on the water. Immediately, Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side while he dismissed the crowd. After he had dismissed them, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance from land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid." "Lord, if it's you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, cried out, "Lord, save me!" Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." Jesus had just sent his disciples off across the lake while he stays alone to pray. We know what's to come, and Jesus definitely knew what was to come. And yet he sends them, knowing what lies ahead. A storm. Sure enough, waves come from all sides. The wind is against the boat for hours. And to make matters worse, the boat's now a considerable distance from land, so there's no hope of them easily making their way back. This is just like Jesus, isn't it? When he does a miracle, it's pretty indisputable. You guys are in a boat in a raging storm that's making even you hardened fishermen afraid, far from land. And now you will see me walking towards you in the middle of this natural chaos and danger on water. And so Jesus walks towards them, and they don't recognize him. This man that they've seen calm a storm before, this man that they have witnessed with their own eyes do supernatural things time and again. And I don't dispute that. Of course, it must have been that Jesus was far away and the storm was so fierce that perhaps it was virtually impossible to make out who it was. But the fact that they jumped to the conclusion of, "It's a ghost," first, seems even less plausible than entertaining the possibility that maybe, just maybe, this might be the miracle worker that they'd spent all day with, the one who had just fed thousands of people with one boy's humble lunch. Doesn't this happen to us all the time? We let our circumstances, our terror, our tiredness and exhaustion just overwhelm us. We stop focusing on the person walking towards us, the one that we know we should know. Isn't it great too that Jesus comes to them? In the middle of the storm and their fear and their utter helplessness, he comes to them. The storm around you might be loss, profound hurt, pandemic anxiety, financial burdens, illness, addiction, unfulfilled longing, pain in so many forms. Today, perhaps take a moment to see if you might be missing recognizing Jesus in the apparent chaos of your circumstances. So afraid that you don't see him clearly in the ways that he is working and walking towards you. It might be through the love and actions of people around you, and it might be through words of truth and encouragement that someone speaks into your life. It might be a fleeting moment where something beautiful happens in the mess of ugliness and brokenness that you're experiencing. That weird calm or peace that comes upon you when you're struggling with something that would baffle people. Jesus comes to us. He doesn't always calm the storm immediately, but he is in the storm with us. And if you feel abandoned, know this: his eyes are on you. They've never left you, and he is the miracle maker. Let the words of the song Waymaker be a prayer of thanks from your heart as you listen to them now.